Good evening. I'm speaking as the chair of the Recreation and Parks Commission, so asking for extra time.
We'll waive your time. Thank you.
Okay. First, I want to start off by saying, yes, I'm the selfish geezer. As most of you know, all of you know, I'm the commissioner who originally began the discussion about the proliferation of personal and group fitness trainers in our city parks. I became concerned about the increasing number of private trainers in Palisades Park, to a lesser extent Clover Park as well. I saw resistance bands tied to trees, light posts, fences, park benches throughout the park that Santa Monica residents hold most sacred, Palisades Park. It's our city's first park, and generations have used this prime piece of real estate on the edge of the Pacific Ocean as their refuge from the daily rigors of life, the spot to reflect on their day, and the place they go to dream about tomorrow. It has been and continues to be Santa Monica's true promenade, and for our residents, a special source of pride. I brought this to the Recreation and Parks Commission because I saw resistance bands tied to trees. I saw, in fact, the picture that you're looking at right now, I took that picture. I looked at personal classes that started to grow, areas that people were then taking and blocking off with cones in Palisades Park. And I became concerned that we were letting private enterprise profit off of our public parks that our taxpayers paid for every day. We started to have complaints from instructors yelling at 6 a.m. with bullhorns. To be clear, almost all the classes that are in our city parks that are privately run are for profit, and they use the people's land illegally. The issue came before Recreation and Parks Commission and a vote to ban personal training in Palisades Park, but to allow the ordinance that the staff proposed to go on all other parks was passed by a margin of 4-3, a close vote, and I was one of the people who voted with the majority because I was concerned about the fact that we were using public land for private benefit. Our commission took a stand in support of the people of the city, and we said we shouldn't be leasing our sacred park land to private enterprise. And you know, another 5 months have gone by. This has been a year-long process in the city. As most of our ordinances are, it takes time. And I've reflected and I've thought about this. And while I would prefer that we not allow any personal or group training in Palisades Park or any other park, I want to speak as a private citizen for a few minutes who has been involved in the city and used our park since I was born. I support the staff's recommendation because it's something that you can look at again. It's fair, it's reasonable. If you decide that personal and private training should be allowed in our public parks, then I believe the staff's recommendation is the fairest possible solution. I want to address a couple of things that citizens have said really quickly. 15 people is a reasonable, fair amount.
Is this still in the capacity as the chair? Or is this your personal?
I'm going to
make clear.
I'm going to clear in 2 minutes. Now it's going to the personal, so now it would be timed.
So let's time that.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I agree with the percentages of 15% in Palisades Park, 10% in other parks. However, I would ask for one amendment to the staff recommendation. I would ask that we establish Reed Park as an enterprise zone for the next 12 months and ask for a 5% fee there because we need to activate that green space. So if we could encourage trainers in that park, they would get a fee break in Palisades Park. Overall, this allows for an ordinance where we had no ordinance. It allows for regulation where we previously had no regulation. So it's a start. And I will support this motion in spite of my vote on our commission. I would ask, lastly, that you really follow the letter of the ordinance as proposed by staff, not increase the amount of people in the zones. Make sure you maintain that 3 blocks of passive space at the north end of the park that the staff have recommended, and that we use our zoning inspector or our inspectors to make sure that we really regulate and audit the trainers when needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have John East.